Getting good to go. How do you bring a little bit of atmosphere? Oh, let's find out. It's the countdown. Welcome to the Get Events Online weekly, whatever this is, live stream, podcast. You know, we do it. Hey, I've talked to a lot of people about digital and online events, and they always say to me, it doesn't quite feel the same. You just don't get the vibe. You know, it's the vibe, it's Marbo, it's the thing, you know. So how do you do that? I'm Warwick Merry, triple certified presenter, virtual and face-to-face. And I'm here to talk about events because I love them. They're fantastic. So I wanted to share with you some of the different ways that you can bring energy and atmosphere. It's harder. In the digital world, it's either on or it's off. In the analog world of face-to-face, you can have varying degrees. It's easier to do things in the background because in virtual, it's like, yep, versus a, they're very technical terms, and I'm sure you can agree with them. So I would suggest to you that there are a couple of different things that you can do, and I'd love to hear your ideas as well. I can see a few people online joining me. Throw something in the chat box. Let me know, what are the ways that you've seen work really well to bring atmosphere? Number one, boom, is music. You'll notice with the intro that I do, there's a bit of royalty-free music in the background that plays just to sort of start, you know, and I give it's a 2-minute reel because it gives people a chance to get online and see what's happening. And it's just a great way to sort of build a bit of background. It can be a challenge. So your AV tech is your best friend here. How do I get it so I can talk and have a bit of music in the background? And I'm a big fan because so many of my friends have got musos. Make sure you have your license. You've got to have a license to play the music. In Australia, it's One Music. You will get you a license. It's very affordable when you're looking at your event. Don't count on the venue having them. Often venues only have background music kind of licensing. So just make sure. Now, most professional speakers will have their musical license so they can play whatever music they want. I know for me, I'm licensed to any event I host. I've got the license to cover all of it. But music makes a difference. It builds that energy. It builds that je ne sais quoi. There's certain something. It gives you that a little bit of oomph. The next thing that you can do, number two, is make sure that your presenters amplify themselves. Now, what I mean by that is, and look, and I say this to so many people who come to me and talk about how do I get better presenting online, and I tell them to amplify themselves. Be yourself magnified. So you'll notice I'm doing a few little gestures. They're just that little bit bigger. They're just a little bit, I don't know, they're just a bit more. My personality is one of a bit of frivolity and naughtiness and a bit of edginess. And so I bring that so that you get this authenticity, but you're not getting the, hey, everybody, you can do anything you want. You know, it's not fake. It's that authenticity, but it's, as Brad says, turn it up to 11. I love that, Brad. So it is really turn it up to 11 and really be yourself, amplified. I don't know a better way to do that. It's like, I want your authenticity. I want this to be you. And there are some people who are far more reserved, far more laid back, and that's gold because that's you. But show them a bit more of yourself. If you've got an edge, if you've got a hobby, if you've got something, bring it. The more you can bring this authenticity to the stage, particularly digitally, the better you will engage, the more atmosphere there'll be, because there's just that unique something about you. And as an example, Brad, he is a firefighter, and so he will often talk about that and have images about that. and, share some of that stuff and he's awesome. So check him out. So thank you, Brett. So that's the second one, amplify yourself. The third one is speak faster. I don't know about you, but I've seen so many people who are talking in the digital spectrum. Either I'm listening to them, either a podcast or a clubhouse, or I'm looking at them online, and they just either waffle or they speak slowly. And I'm like, come on, get to the point. I've grown up in an era where everything's gone faster. One of the favorite films that I had that I used to watch with my dad was Ben-Hur. I won't say the original Ben-Hur because that film's been made about 5 times, but the one that's got Charlton Heston in it. And I've gone back and watched that recently, and it just drags because I'm used to the Michael Bay, 5 seconds, new shot, like just keep it cracking. So for us to keep attention, to keep energy, to keep that atmosphere, speak just that little bit faster. Again, be yourself, but be yourself amplified. So amplify that speed. Just go that little bit faster, and it'll help people get engaged. I saw a video editing tutorial once that said, don't have a gap. So if you've just had a gap to have a breath, edit that out so it's just nonstop talking, because a gap means that they can go, and they'll sit and think and they'll look to the other screen or they'll turn away. So don't have a gap. Same with your conversation. Keep speaking faster. Be funny. That's the fourth one. Be funny. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be a stand-up comedian. Could help. I mean, there is a reason why on breakfast radio, most of the people there, or most breakfast radio slots, will have a stand-up comedian as one of the anchors, because just injecting that humor, that observational humor and stuff that's going on. And you can do it for any subject. One of my favorite speakers is Bernard Salt. Now, he's a demographer. He talks about demographics. He's the kind of guy that analyzes the census for fun. But he has great stories and he does awesome things. He talks about the highway. I think it's like the marital highway, with the city that has way more single men and the city that has way more single women, and how they get together. And he turns that data into something that's entertaining. So if you can add that element have your speaker add that element of entertainment. And even for an online event, what that means is don't necessarily just have speaker. Throw a bit of an entertainer in, or maybe 3 minutes of a bit of music, something else that's coming on. Yeah, a great comment from Heidi. Nothing like getting a laugh amongst the monotony of it all. So mix something energetic into it. And that leads into the final one, is have fun. My theory is always, if it's not fun, don't do it. But if you have to do it, make it fun. So always have that level of fun in there. So enjoy, smile. Oh my God. Can I tell you it's how important it is to smile? Yeah, Kieran, you're so right. You've got to have a bit of laughter and fun, because it does make it engaging. We are so sick and tired of being sick and tired of just watching these really dull presenters or these really dull get-togethers. So add a little bit of something to it, give it a bit of oomph, and doing it with a bit of fun, unexpected fun. Now, it may mean that you need to do a bit of training and learning about what you can do with this. So if you need to do some training, there's the School of Hard Knock Knocks, does some great stuff around comedy. I'm a huge fan of improv. I've spent 10 years working with Impro Melbourne and learning so many great little tweaks that just adds that little bit of something to help me add that energy to the room. Because with digital, the only energy that's there is what your speaker brings. So if they are a dry, laconic speaker, it will be dry and dry. So make sure that you work with your speakers to get them to add a little bit of something. I've got to tell you, and I did a session on this, Heidi, the Snap camera filters are brilliant. You can do so many cool things very easily with Snap camera filters. It just adds that, well, it really doesn't take much effort to add that element of fun. It's the digital dress-ups. And I'm such a big fan of it, because it just very, very quickly, everyone can start playing and having a little bit of fun. And there's new ones coming all the time. Like one that's out there at the moment is this one, which is getting ready for it's North American, so it's that whole getting ready for Halloween treat. It's all fun. But you can do some very, very cool things. I can be suave and sophisticated. Anyway, so I've done a whole thing on this, so go back and check the other one. Yes, Heidi, I've put on one of my absolute favorite one is this one here, where it just changes me to something a whole lot more special. Anyway, let's get back to the goodness. So It's an easy way to add a bit of fun. Now, it might not suit your style, it might not suit your topic, but it's really up to you to look at what it is that you can do. If you want to know more about what's happening in the future of speaking, we've got an event coming up on the 27th of the month where we talk for an hour. We've got the head of MIA, so he's the chairman of the board of MIA, who'll be talking about what's been going on. We've got the fairy godmother, so that's Nigel Collin, the fairy godmother of speaking, which is Leanne Christie, a little mental fart there. Leanne Christie, the fairy godmother, who can help you turn, wave a magic wand and show what's going to be happening for the next 12 months. And the power couple of presenting, who is Jerry and Donna Morris, who are going to be talking about some of the stuff that's been happening worldwide and locally with the future of speaking. We're only talking next year. So if you're a speaker, this is for you. Check it out. And that's how you can sort of sign up. All right. Okay, so let me get back to what we're talking about is how do you bring energy and atmosphere into a session that has none? A bit of background music if you can do it, or using a musical interlude of some description. Looking at how do I amplify yourself? Be yourself amplified. Bring that authenticity, but crank it right up. Then look at speaking a little bit faster. It just adds that energy, and people sort of lean in. They lean in and listen and become part of it. Also, be funny. Add an element of funny to it, be free to be yourself. It's so important. I think working from home has allowed us to just sort of relax and no longer put a tie on. Can I tell you, it never made sense to start the day by putting a small noose around your neck. But, be funny, have some observations around that and have fun. Just really enjoy yourself as you're doing it. The audience will enjoy it more and it'll be a whole lot more fun. If you need any help getting any of those into your events, please reach out to me. Any speakers out there, I'd love to see you at that Future of Speaking event. Details are all down there at the bottom. Looking forward to speaking to you. Hey, thanks for joining me. I'll be back again next Thursday, 9 a.m. Melbourne time, which is now Australian Eastern Daylight Savings time. Can't believe that Adelaide is ahead of Queensland, but that's a different story. Thank you for being here. Reach out if I can be any help. Otherwise, I will see you at the Future of Speaking event. This is my end of stream little jiggle, because sometimes I find if I cut it off too soon that some services just sort of stop it. So I figure if I just do a little bit of a jiggle, it's all good. Sometimes you got to wait for the jiggle.